What is going on, everyone? My name is Andy. Welcome back to another FPL video, and today it's team selection time ahead of game week 15, and it's an exciting one, right? Not only is it just 2 days until Christmas, I hope you're as excited as I am. The games are finished after Boxing Day on the 27th, and we're straight into another game week. It's all good in terms of FPL, and probably the most exciting thing of all, I've made my transfers already. Not just one, but I've made 2. So I'm going to go through how I did in Game Week 14, what my transfers are, and of course, what my kind of new chip strategy is now, because it is a little bit different to what I talked about the other day. Obviously, my thought process and stuff like that is the same, but in terms of the players I'm going to have, it's a little bit different. So I'm going to tinker at the end as well. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like. It's 2 days till Christmas. Give the video a like, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and let's quickly talk about OneFootball. So talking of exciting things, there is still time to enter the OneFootball Boxing Day giveaway to try and win a jersey of your choice. And all you have to do is make a prediction for 5 of the matches in Game Week 15, right? Very simple. I did this in the last video as well. My predictions haven't really changed, to be honest. Chelsea versus Arsenal, not seen anything from Arsenal to worry me. Of course, perhaps Ben Chilwell and Reece James missing that game could hurt Chelsea a little bit, but I'm still backing them for the win. I'm, of course, backing Man United. Come on. Big Sam's coming in. He's conceded 3 goals to Aston Villa. Liverpool definitely winning this game. I'll be very surprised if they don't, especially after smashing Crystal Palace as well. And then you've got Man City versus Newcastle. Again, I see a heavy Man City win here. Even though on the preview video yesterday I spoke about the fact that their attacking stats haven't been quite as good, it's still Newcastle. And then Spurs versus Wolves. This is the only one I might consider changing to a draw or even a Wolves win. I just don't know. There's something about it where I can see Wolves doing really well. But right now I'm still on Spurs. If you've got different predictions or even the same predictions you want to make, there's a link in the description below. Make sure you click that and you can enter this giveaway and try and win. So yeah, link in the description below. Give it a go. Okay, so I know you want to know about the transfers that I've made and why I've done them, but let's just quickly go through Game Week 14. Keep it consistent like we do every single week. What a week, right? I saw a lot of people in the 90s, some even over 100 points this week. Absolutely brilliant if you did that. I'm still really happy with 86 points. I went from like 136k to 81k, so a 50,000 place green arrow, and into the top 100k, right? It's been probably, I mean, I wish I tracked these things, but it feels like it's been a long time since I was this high up the ranks, this early on in the season. We've obviously got double game week 19 and blank game week 18 to get through as well. And I think if I can come off the back of that, still in the top 100k, then potentially I'm in for a good season. It doesn't always work like that, but I think without a wildcard, 18 and 19 are really important. So we'll see how we do there. How did the 86 points come about? Well, first of all, I took off the armband off Salah after realising that he was probably going to be benched. He was. He comes on, absolutely smashes it, and then somehow Fernandes outscores him and gets 17 points. So it was a ridiculous week for those two. Obviously, Spurs blanking really helped me as well, because although a lot of people have owned Salah and Fernandes, they may have had Kane and Son. They didn't perform this week, and that helped me get up the rankings even more. Grealish chipping in with a 10-pointer, finally getting some assists there, and obviously bonus points too. And De Bruyne, okay, he only got an assist, but again, he beat Son, he beat Kane this week, so happy days for me. Elsewhere, not too many points. I think not taking out Martinez a few weeks ago when Villa blanked is probably one of my best decisions this season. He's got scores of 11, 8 and now 6, and he's got Crystal Palace at home this week, which could be really good. So loving Aston Villa right now. Unfortunately up front, not so good. Just 1 assist, and obviously Calvin also got a yellow card, so it was down to 4 points instead of the 5. And Watkins and Bamford blanked. Bamford against Man United and Watkins against West Brom. Watkins so close to scoring again. I think he's been a little bit unfortunate, but at the same time, it might be time to start thinking about getting rid of him, which I'll talk about in a minute. But overall, really happy. I think one quick shout out. I know Chilwell got injured and Reguilon only got 1 point, but Dallas, I tweeted out that he was on -1 coming off my bench, and literally about 20 or 30 seconds later, he scores a goal against Man United. Man United still get an incredible win, 6-2, but I get 5 points off my bench for Dallas after Lamptey didn't show. So 86 points, incredible. If I can get anywhere near that on Boxing Day, I'll be extremely happy. Let's see how it's going to happen. So I've got 0 free transfers for Game Week 15. You know why? Because I've already used the 2 that I had saved up. And you can see both the players on screen. So last week I mentioned on one of the videos how I'd gone from Game Week 5 to Game Week 14 and only made 1 defensive transfer, which was Trent Alexander-Arnold to Chilwell. And that was before Trent got injured as well. So I did that like a week or 2 before he got injured. And that was a really good move. Chilwell's been really good for me. But He has gone off with an ankle injury. Now, I will say, I am recording this video on Tuesday, so at the time of recording, I don't know what the deal is with Chilwell, right? Whether the scan has come back and he's kind of cleared to play Arsenal or not. But the reason I've done it is I kind of what I talked about in the preview video yesterday. So I actually made these transfers on Monday night, because as soon as I saw that he'd gone off injured and then Lampard said that he was a doubt for Arsenal, immediately I'm thinking, well, 2 days later he's got Aston Villa. If he misses both those games, I don't think my defence can really carry him, and then it's Man City anyway. So I wasn't too bothered about getting rid of him. I do not like doing early transfers on a Monday, but I believe that Liverpool and West Ham are not in EFL Cup action, so they should be okay. Of course, I could get injuries elsewhere in my squad, so I do not like doing early transfers, but the money was exact. It was exactly on. So straight away I checked Chilwell. I thought, can I do Chilwell to Robertson? I had 1.1 million in the bank, and I could sell Chilwell for 6, sorry. So that obviously brought his price to 7.1, and Robertson 7.2. So then I was thinking, okay, I've got 2 free transfers. What's the best way to save 0.1 million? And I had Lamptey at 4.7, who, by the way, we don't even know if he's definitely going to be back next week. We still, press conferences might tell us. But again, we don't know for sure. At least I didn't when I made the transfers. And then Soufal's only 4.6. I thought that's perfect. That's literally the exact money. I want Soufal for the double game week. The fixtures are really good. I'm not going to turn my nose up about getting Robertson in either. So they're both in. And Robertson, he's more expensive than Chilwell. It's not a simple case of just saying Robertson is better. He does cost more money, right? And for me, it was 1.2 million extra. But West Brom at home, Newcastle away, Southampton away is significantly better than Arsenal away, potentially not playing, Villa at home, potentially not playing, and then Man City at home. And obviously, even in the double game week, I think they've both got good doubles, but I think Liverpool's are better. Burnley at home, Man United at home, better than Fulham away, and I think it's Leicester away for Chelsea. So, really happy with Robertson. It's been a long time now since I've had a Liverpool defender, and the first time I've had Robertson this season. I could have got Trent. They were both the same price, but I just feel like this season Robertson's kind of stepped it up a bit, and there's nothing to say that Trent will not do the same and kind of turn it around and start getting more attacking returns than Robertson. But Robertson's done nothing wrong this year, and to be honest, when you watch Liverpool, I love watching Robertson, right? And I've wanted to get him in my team for a while. It just hasn't worked out. And now, as I'll show you later on, it kind of fits in with my chip strategy still, and I can still bench boost. But instead, I've got Robertson instead of Matip, and I'm pretty happy with that, right? Obviously, Chilwell's gone, but I'll talk about Chelsea defenders in a bit. Otherwise, Soufal comes in. His attacking stats are pretty decent as well. And if he does get a clean sheet or an attacking return for West Ham, his bonus points, the way he racks them up, is incredible too. And I don't have to play him every week before the double, but in the double game week, it's Burnley at home, West Brom at home. That is too good to turn down. I may even end up doubling on West Ham defence. It's that good, the fixtures. Martinez in goal. Not really worried about him. Just going to carry him through to the double game week. Yes, the fixtures aren't great after Crystal Palace, but whatever. It's a goalkeeper. I don't want to make the change. And then Stuart Dallas is currently playing instead of Reguilon. Now, Reguilon is playing Wolves away. I just got a feeling that Wolves are going to score, and I'm a little bit worried about that match. So Dallas-Burnley at home. I know Lee's defence has not been good, right? And a lot of the points I've got from Dallas have been attacking-wise. But Burnley are not that great in attack, and I feel like the way Leeds play will be really good against Burnley. So right now he's playing as well. And I got to be honest, I love the look of this defence. I know you shouldn't look at your FPL team too much, but I keep looking at it and thinking this has got big points written all over it. It might not happen like that, but it looks like that. So right now Reguilon's on the bench, and he's got 2 pretty good fixtures coming up after this, so I'm happy to kind of rotate him a little bit. But right now, that is the defence I'm playing. Robertson and Soufal in, Ben Chilwell and Lamptey are out. So if you thought the defence looked good with the fixtures, look at the midfield, right? It just gets better and better. This is one of those weeks, I'm not going to lie, where, obviously you always hope for this. It doesn't always happen, but I feel like I got 86 this week. This is a better team this week, I reckon, right? I know Fernandes is not playing Leeds, and in fact, no one I own is playing Leeds this week, but it is a good set of fixtures for my team. Defence looking good, midfield looking decent as well. So Grealish is an interesting one because a lot of people have got rid of him, especially to go to the likes of Son. I'm probably not going to do that, right? I've been sticking with the 3 premium kind of strategy for a few weeks now. So De Bruyne, Salah, Fernandes. And before that, I had Son as well, who I switched to Fernandes, actually. With Grealish, I'm not looking to do that. I got him for 7.1 million, right? And I'm not against selling players who've got value built up in, but I do think I want him back, right? And I know he's got 3 difficult fixtures after this, after Crystal Palace, but those fixtures could be good for Villa if they're able to counter-attack. We saw that against Arsenal and Liverpool. it could be decent for them potentially. I don't think holding him is the worst thing. And after the double as well, he's got pretty good fixtures. And he plays Everton in 19 as well when I bench boost. So I'm quite happy to stick with him. And I think this is a good matchup. I know Crystal Palace got beaten heavily by Liverpool. I don't think necessarily the same will happen with Villa. But it's still a good game for him. And I think since that Liverpool game where Grealish got 24 points, he's been averaging 5.6 points per match. So he's been really good, right? Nothing to really concern yourself with him. He's never going to be a captain, but I'm fine with that. So he stays. De Bruyne definitely stays. I spoke about in the preview yesterday that City's stats this year have definitely been down on last year in terms of expected goals. But recently, they've been right back to the top again. So can they let that continue? De Bruyne at the front of the attack. If they can get an early goal against Newcastle, that could be another big score for them, like Burnley was. But granted, they've only scored 4 goals in the 3 games since then. And 4 games if you include the Man United one. So it's a little bit of a concern. I think it was 1 against Southampton, 1 against West Brom, and 2 against Burnley. So that's 4, yeah. And obviously they blanked against Man United as well. But Newcastle's such a good fixture. After this week, I've got a decision to make. Do I bring in Son for him, or do I try and get to Kane instead? Which I'll talk about in a bit. Fernandes, I'm fine with holding because I think it's Villa after this game. Villa in game week 17. I think it's Wolves next week. So the fixtures aren't fantastic, but I don't think it's the right week to switch to Son. I have kind of, it has gone up in price while being in my team as well. So I don't really want to get rid of him when Son's playing Wolves away. So it's not the week to do it, I don't think. So I hold Fernandes for 1 more week. And then Salah is my captain. There's absolutely not up for debate whatsoever. I would agree with anyone that says De Bruyne is a really good captaincy this week as well. But he ain't Mo Salah. Mo Salah is now not blank for 7 matches. That doesn't mean that's a good prediction of when he's going to score again or when he's going to get points again. But West Brom is a good fixture. Sam Allardyce is not going to be able to hopefully have worked his magic so much that he hurt Salah. He was always earmarked as captain this week. And unless he gets injured, there ain't no way I'm not captaining this week. So adding in the forwards, Calvert-Lewin is very much like Grealish in that some people have started to sell him. I spoke about it a few weeks ago. And look, you can say he's returned every game, but it's only like 5, 5 and 4. He's not exactly blown the FPL world apart with his amazing score in the last few weeks. But he has had some tricky fixtures. And Sheffield United away is the perfect one to get back to goal scoring form. So I think I'm going to keep him, right? I know he's got Man City as well after this. But ultimately, I think I want him after game week 19. He's got some pretty good fixtures from game week 21, from game week 20 to 24. And that's probably when I'm going to look to wildcard. And maybe I reassess at that point. But the guy has literally done nothing wrong, or not really given me any reason to get rid of him so far, even though I did consider it. He's got 12 returns now, I think it is, in 14 games. He's just been on fire, right? And I know they're missing some players. Obviously, I don't know if Alan's going to be back, but Rodriguez is out, Luka Dean's out, etc. But he's still been able to tick away and get the points in. And I think Ancelotti's actually been doing all right the last few weeks without some of his main men. So Calvert-Lewin is staying for now. Never say never in terms of getting rid, but I don't see me doing it. Bamford, brilliant underlying stats this year. Brilliant record in terms of FPL returns. I've seen some people worried that he didn't score against Man United, which is weird. I think he's got a good double game week. He's got Burnley, then he's got West Brom away. There is nothing not to like about Bamford. He's a really good FPL player, and I didn't say that at the start of the season. I'm definitely saying it now. And then Watkins, right? A lot of people have got him, right? They want to get rid of him this week. For me, obviously, in the end, my priority was the Chilwell Lamptey transfers. I probably wouldn't have got rid of Watkins anyway. If you've got him, if you've got 2 free transfers, nothing else to do, no harm in getting rid of him. You could go to Bamford if you don't own Rodrigo, Che Adams, whoever it is that you want to get. And I think sometimes this is where people get stuck, is they're looking at the last 4 games and saying, well, he's got no points, therefore he has to go. And don't get me wrong, that's been hugely frustrating as an owner. The last 4 or 5 game weeks, he's got no points. But you have to wipe the slate clean and say it's Crystal Palace at home. Okay, he hasn't scored, but how close were those offside goals? And I know offside is offside, right? And some players, they're miles offside, and you can't really say, well, he was close. With Watkins, he has been so close. We're talking millimetres to being onside and getting 2 goals over the last few game weeks. So I don't have any issues with holding him this week for Crystal Palace at home. Like I just spoke about for Grealish and Martinez, he does have bad fixtures after this, and I probably will look to get him out. But this week, he's not a priority whatsoever. I think Crystal Palace at home is a decent game. I think as a player for Villa, he's been good. Just as an FPL asset, he's not been as good, right? So hopefully he can get something here. By the way, I've not had a single goal from this striker position all season. I had Che Adams game week 1 to 4. I had Mopay from game week 5 to 9. And I've had Watkins since game week 10. And not one of them has scored a goal. I've had 1 assist from Che Adams And that is it. I should have just kept him, shouldn't I? But there you go. That is the team as a whole. Souček, Reguilon and Mitchell all on the bench. I don't think it's worth playing Souček ahead of Watkins, and I don't necessarily think it's worth playing Reguilon ahead of Dallas either. So that's probably how the squad is going to look. Salah captain for sure. Let's just quickly touch on chip strategy as well. Okay, so here's my team for this week as it stands on the FPL page. Now, a few people when I made that chip strategy video have since replied since the Chilwell injury saying, well, that's a spanner in the works. This perfect plan is not going to work now. But I think the key thing to take away from that video, if you can, is that I wasn't necessarily saying this is the perfect strategy, because it probably isn't, right? It's just how I'm thinking about it and how it works for my team. And all the Chilwell injury has done is kind of accelerated a move, potentially brought in an extra hit, right? I will say that. It might mean I need an extra hit now if I want to get the same team as before. But I think the points that Robertson could potentially make up over Chilwell are probably worth it. So this is the transfer page. This is the page for my team. This is the transfer page now. So what would have been my moves next week was De Bruyne and Watkins out to either Son, right? So either Son or Kane. So let's just say it's Son. Then I'd probably get someone up front like Che Adams, Rodrigo, or something like that. Look, I'm not even going to joke around about Antonio. I don't think he's ever going to be fit again. And Rodrigo's got really good underlying numbers. I am a little bit more concerned about whether he's nailed on versus Rafinha, but right now it looks pretty good. Leeds fans are fairly confident. His numbers are really good. I actually got them slightly wrong on the Game Week preview yesterday. And they're actually decent. So something like this, or I go to Kane, and I'm still umming and ahhing about whether Kane is the better option over Son for the next for Fulham and Leeds. I don't know. I think Kane's underlying numbers have been better than Son's all season, but that Leeds game in particular, I wonder if Son is the better option. So Kane in, and then potentially Rafinha, right? So this would be for a hit. Now I could just do one of these moves. I could just get if I wanted to go the Son route, I could just do De Bruyne to Son and keep Watkins for another week. I've not completely ruled that out. But this is one way, right? So Game Week 15 is already done. This would be Game Week 16 for a hit. And then I've got the only two players that aren't either playing in Game Week 18 or got a double game week are Forster and Mitchell, right? So I could do, in Game Week 15, I'd probably bring in Johnston because he's playing Arsenal. And I think that's probably, so in Game Week 17 now, at home, that's possibly a better fixture than Martinez, who's got Man United away, right? So I'd bring in Johnston and possibly play him that week. And then in Game Week 18, I free hit. And then in Game Week 19, I can just do Mitchell to a 4.8 million defender. Now, who that is, I don't know right now. That could be Lindelof. Chances are, this plan is not going to be so perfect. I've still got 4.8 million to spend by the time the double comes around, because players will increase in price, right? But if not, I can just go down to someone who dropped to 4.4 on Tuesday or Monday night into Tuesday, which is Balbuena. 4.4 million, potential bargain. Really good goal threat from him. And like I said just a minute ago for Soufal, fixtures Burnley at home and West Brom at home, really good. And obviously I'm not then looking to play him every single week. I'd still have Robertson, Dallas, Reguilon and Soufal to kind of rotate after the double game week, right? So that would be for free, basically, and in Game Week 19. And then if I wanted to take a hit for Reguilon to Reece James, if Reece James is fit, then I might take the hit to do that, right? Then I'd be stuck with a few single game week players, so Martinez, Reguilon potentially, if not Grealish, Calvert-Lewin and Kane. And obviously if I went the other route, Rodrigo and Son, I'd probably just keep Son for the double game week. So it's not really about bench boosting to just get double game week players. I think as single game week players go, I've got some pretty good ones to play. And I just think the way the double game weeks are now probably going to fall, I almost want to use my bench boost because I'm in a good position to get to it. If I was like 6 or 7 players away from getting a good bench boost, I probably wouldn't focus on it. But I'm quite close, right? And I've just made 2 transfers that work for my team from 15 to 17 and are good for the double. So if I bench boost, I only have to, and I know I've got extra money in my team, which a few people have pointed out. Like I've got an extra 0.5 in Johnston. I've got an extra 0.4, not that much, in Balbuena ahead of Mitchell. So my team has got more money spent in the overall squad than on the first 11. But the way the double game weeks are probably going to fall, if I'm using my wildcard in game week 24 or 25, I've only got to hold this team for 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and then I'm wildcarding anyway. So if I don't want that extra money on the bench, like the goalkeeper and stuff like that, I just reduced them down to another £4 million playing keeper. So again, this sounds like the perfect plan, and it might not work out like that, but this is kind of what I'm thinking right now. So basically, if you haven't followed, Robertson and Sufal are in game week 15, potentially Rafinha and Kane for a hit in game week 16. That gives me Kane as the captain in game week 17 against Leeds. And then in game week 17, I bring Johnston in. And then in game week 18, free hit. Game week 19, Balbuena comes in for free. And if I want to take a hit, it would probably be Reguilon to Reece James, if he's fit by then. But Reguilon does have Sheffield United away in game week 19, so I don't necessarily need to get a double game week player in. So it's an extra hit next week, and then a hit if I want to in game week 19. If I don't, then actually it's the same amount of hits as before, just I've accelerated my defensive transfers instead. But I'll make a decision on Kane and Son, because I want to be able to get back to Kevin De Bruyne in game week 20, which I won't go into now because this video has been long enough, but I can basically switch Kane and Souček to a really cheap striker and Kevin De Bruyne, and just get him back for that West Brom away game in game week 20. So that's the tinkering, that's the current plan. I'll update this as I go if it's something that you find useful. So that's it for this one. Thanks very much for watching. That is the team selection, transfers locked in, captaincy 100% locked in as well, barring any major injuries. I don't want to make any other moves this week, but sometimes you have to when you take the risk of making early transfers. If you haven't checked out the One Football giveaway, please do click that link in the description below. That'll take you straight through to fill out the form. See if you can beat my predictions that I showed you earlier on in the video. And of course, if you have enjoyed this one, please do give it a like and hit that subscribe button as well. Plenty more content to come. So hoping to have the captaincy video out on Christmas Eve, potentially a stream then as well. And then I'll have on Christmas Day a Christmas Day podcast, just a solo one with me, but a little bit different to what I usually do from an FPL point of view. So go and check the community tab on YouTube and let me know what questions and stuff you want me to talk about from a non-FPL point of view. And then Boxing Day will be the deadline stream before we go into loads more content before Game Week 16, which is a really quick turnaround. So hopefully you've been enjoying it. If you want to support me and the channel a little bit further, I do have Patreon, link in the description below. Everyone that signs up goes up on the Legends wall. There's Slack access, Q&As, early team reveals, all that kind of good stuff as well. And a big shout out to Alex N, who has signed up since the last video or stream that I recorded. So thank you very much. I'll leave it there. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If I don't see you before, have a great Christmas, although I will be back with more videos before that happens. See you soon.